Hello, I'm Carrie, and welcome to episode 20 of the Sego Fibers podcast. Hello, welcome and welcome back. I'm filming just a week after my last podcast and I'm excited to be filming so soon, but I figured since I had a spare moment and I made some progress on some projects, I would stop to show them to you. First, let's talk about what I'm wearing. This sweater is the Spot Regular by Ventzel, and I made size 3, and I was really going for like a really comfy sweatshirt kind of look, and I feel like I achieved that. It's nice and cozy. It feels like a hug, and so I'm loving that. This is actually my first time wearing it because I finished it over the summer, and so it's cool enough this morning to like actually have it on and not melt, so I'm very happy about that. The yarn I used, the main color is Sego Fibers, my own yarn brand, and I held a strand of my Menagerie fingering, which is a very plump fingering, so it's like a heavy fingering, I guess, and a strand of my Vignette lace, which is a mohair lace, and held those two together. And for the contrast, I used advent calendar minis, so a fingering weight just held single, and I used a bunch of minis to get this kind of like rainbowy gradient kind of effect, and in total I used about 200 grams. So it didn't use a lot of yarn, and for the main color, like even for size 3, I only needed 2 skeins of fingering and 2 skeins of mohair. So it's like, oh, that's pretty good. The gauge is looser, but it's like, as you can tell, it's not see-through. It doesn't feel see-through. Like even looking up close, I can't see through it. And I think you use like bigger needles, like 4.5 or 5 millimeter, I forget exactly. It's a really easy colorwork motif. It's really fun and addicting. And for the minis and color changes, I just did like one triangle section in one color, then I switched to the next mini and did this triangle section in another, and so on. It was really fun. I would definitely make it again. The pattern comes with 2 versions, a wool version and a mohair version. The mohair version holds like 3 strands of mohair for the main color, and then I think it's like a single strand of wool for the contrast, I think. And then the wool version has 1 strand of wool and 1 strand of mohair held together, I think. It's been a while, sorry. But it's kind of funny, but the reason for that was like wool for the main color adds more stretch and elasticity than only the mohair, so there's different stitch counts for like the neckline for a better fit. But as long as you meet gauge, you can use whatever kind of yarn you want. I think next time I would do straight wool and just do like a DK for everything. I think that would look really good. I think I would do that next. And maybe I would just do like a solid background and a solid for the contrast, or maybe I would still do stripes. I don't know, we'll have to see. But it's a really fun pattern. I love it. I would definitely make it again. The Spot Regular is different than the Spot Sweater. The sweater has like a much deeper yoke. It's possible that my gauge was a little bit off as being like bigger, so this yoke depth might even be lower than what the pattern calls for, but I'm happy with it. It goes for the vibe I want, and so it's good. And I do have a finished object to share from last time, and it goes well with what I'm wearing. This is kind of a self-drafted bandana that I knit for my daughter. She's turning 5 in a week and a half, which I can't believe. But she loves playing dress up, and she's been wearing this little red bandana around her neck, and she looks so adorable in that. But she really loves pink and purple and all the unicorn sparkly things. And so I was thinking, okay, the red bandana is totally adorable, but I bet you would love like a pink one. And so I decided to make her this. And this uses the same mini skeins that I used in this sweater. And so this, when I bought the advent calendar last year, I had the sweater in mind. And so like I knew I wouldn't be using all my minis. And I even got like a half size advent calendar with only like 12 skeins. And I still had lots of leftovers. And so I knew, especially once I saw the colors, that my girls would really like them in something. So I wasn't worried about having leftovers. I knew they'd be used. And then I had this pink main color yarn and stash. It's a single ply woolen silk blend, and it's by Cloud9 Fibers, their Filo fingering base. And so I've had it for ages, and it was nice to finally use it. And so for this, I kind of winged the pattern a little bit, but it's based on the Sophie shawl or the Sophie scarf. So I started it the same way that you would in that pattern. And so you start at the tip, and then you increase and increase, and then decrease and decrease, and end at the other side. And the increases and decreases are exactly the same method as in the pattern, but I changed the rates. So on every right side row, I would either do an increase or a decrease. And on the wrong side rows, it was just knit normal. But yeah, so I was trying to get more of a half square kind of shape. And I think I roughly got it. Might be a little bit wider, but that's fine. And I'm really happy with how it kind of blocked out. It's nice and flowy, and it lays flat and drapes well, and it doesn't curl up on itself, which is really nice. So I'm excited to give that to her soon. My next whip I've knit a lot on, and it's the Handwork Cardigan by Tayler Harris. And this is a special pattern specifically for one of my local yarn stores. Let's see if I can find the front cover of it. There we go. And so this yarn store the yarn store is named Handwork. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary recently, and as part of the celebration, Tayler Harris, who works at the store, designed this beautiful cardigan as like a present, a celebration, and a fun thing to do together. The yarn I'm using is Rerum Natura Gilliatt. Last episode, I went through this big dramatic explanation of how I ended up with this yarn. So if you're really interested in trivial yarn drama, you can check that out. But I love this yarn. It is beautiful. It feels really good. It's the exact color I was looking for, and I'm really happy with it. It's my first time working with this yarn, and I would definitely work with it again. I really, really enjoy it. It is soft. It is woolen spun, and you get really good yardage with it. It knits up like a worsted, but its yardage is like a DK. It's 250 meters per 100 grams. 100% wool. This is the color Darjeeling. It says you can knit with it with 4 to 5 millimeters. 19 to 17 stitch gauge per 4 inches. Yeah, stuff like that. Really good yarn. I would definitely recommend. I'm making the size 2. And last week, I think I was working on like the back panel. It's a drop shoulder, and so you work the like trapezoid kind of shape on the back first. But since then, I finished the back panel. I did the front left and right panels, and I've joined under the arms, and I'm now on the body. It's this wonderful waffle stitch pattern, and it is super cozy, and it's knit up on, what are you, 5mm needles. So it goes, I feel like it goes really fast. I love the stitch pattern. It is super relaxing and you feel like you have something interesting to do. Like it's not super boring because every row is different. But it's super easy to read your knitting, know exactly where you are in the pattern. It's easy to know what to do next. It's really obvious if you make a mistake. So like it's really quite an enjoyable and like low-key fun kind of knit. Great for relaxing. And I don't know, you know, like those waffle long sleeve shirts or like long john type textures, like this, I love that texture. I like it so much that after I finish this one, I really want to cast on a pair of socks with this pattern. I'm not currently aware of like an actual sock pattern with that stitch in it, but it's easy just to plop into any vanilla sock pattern that you already know. So that's what I plan on doing. And yeah, I'm excited for that. I'll have this whole like waffle stitch cozy look going on, which I'm excited about. Ooh, I got really special buttons for this cardigan. I'm gonna go get them and show you. All right, so the special buttons that I got for this cardigan are from Hall & Hoof Farm Store. And I mean, I've seen other podcasters and whoever like talk about these on their channels and it's like, oh, that's so cute. And it never like struck me as like, oh, I have a project for that. I didn't until I saw this and I was like, oh, that is the vibe I'm going for. And so I got these buttons. They're these really cute quilt star patterns and they're black and white and then there's this like in between the colors kind of line. I know it's blurry, but you can kind of see it, where it shows the natural clay color. And it's so pretty. I thought they would look really good with this color cardigan. Kind of very like farmhouse academia. I don't know if that's a thing, but I really loved that combo together and it looked really kind of folksy and cozy and cute. I really cannot wait to wear this. So I'm like, on the one hand, I want to knit slowly so I can enjoy the yarn and the pattern, but on the other hand, I really want to wear it, so I want to finish it really fast. So I'm just letting myself work on it whenever I feel like, and I don't need to feel bad if I decide to work on something else. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just excited for the finished cardigan. My next work in progress is a new cast on since last week, and it's the Vivienne Beanie by Sari Nordlund. This is a gift knit for my friend who is also my girls' preschool teacher. I feel very lucky to have gotten to meet her and to get to know her, and like now I can call her a friend, and I just think that's really cool. So the yarn I'm using is my hand-dyed yarn. This is Sego Fibers Menagerie, that heavy fingering weight I was showing you, or I was telling you about earlier. It is 437 yards per 115 grams, so it's a little bit plumper than average, which I really like. It's a 2-ply superwash merino and nylon, and this is Vignette lace, and it's also 437 yards, and it's a super kid mohair, so it's extra soft and silk. And this is in the color Pastries, and this is the color I Love You So Much. She came to visit me at my most recent trunk show event, and so I was like subtly asking her like, so which colors do you like? And she's like, oh, any of the pinks. And I had like about 3 or so that she was really liking, and so I was like, okay. And when I got back, I was like, okay, like what do I have left from the trunk show that's like could be a good hat for her, because she was really liking like the mohair and fingering weight combinations. And so I was looking at what I had left, and I only had 1 skein of this left and 1 skein of this left, so like perfect, so that'll go. And for some more like color drama, because apparently I can't get away from it, when I was preparing for this last trunk show at Handwork, I ordered like all my supplies for like yarn and dye and citric acid and like all these things. And so I needed more of one of the colors I use in both of these. And so I ordered the dye powder, and it came. I was like, okay, great, same as usual, whatever. And I like to make like all of my liquid dye stock at once before I start dyeing the yarn. That way it's like it's all part of the same lot and for consistency and all that. And so I made like buckets of this particular color, and it's like, oh, it looks a little bit different than it has before, like the new jar versus the old jar. So like, but I mean, it's the same color, it's from the same company, it's like, it shouldn't be different. And I've never had a difference in any of my other colors before, but this one was different. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, let's see how it goes. I'll just follow my same formula and we'll see what happens. And so it might be a little bit hard to tell, but okay, I'll hold up the original color, which is this, and this is a different base, but this is the new color. And so they're similar, but this one, the new one, is like this, the original leaned more purple and the new one leans a bit more brown. And so I don't use a lot of it in this Pastries color, but this one is more antique or muted and warm, and this one is cooler. So that's a difference. And then in the I Love You So Much color, this one's bigger because I do use more of it. So this one is a bit more sweet pink, maybe like a sweet pea color. And then, oh wow, please focus. And then this one is definitely a bit more like, also like rose, like vintage rose type color. It's a bit, yeah, it's a bit darker, not quite as much pop, which, like, I'm not mad about it. I actually really love these two colors. I think they're gorgeous. I think if you're looking for a pink, especially in fall, like these are really good. I'm just a bit bummed that it's not really an option to make more of this kind of pink, because this pink is like really good for spring too, and it's also the original I came up with. So it's like, well, it'd be nice to have that as an option to make it, but we'll see. Who knows, maybe they'll change their dye powder again. But for now, these are available and I do really like them. But anyway, I would not like mix those in the same project because it would be an obvious difference. But you don't have to worry about that in my shop. The old colors are all gone. Back to the hat. I'm using the original colors in this one, and yeah, this is a lot of ribbing in this hat. It has this beautiful cable pattern running up the body of the hat, and it goes all the way to the brim. I really love this. I think this cable and stitch pattern just looks beautiful with like the wool and mohair blend. It just makes it look so delicate and pretty. I started this over the weekend, and I very like unexpectedly got this stomach bug thing. It was very weird, but it was, I don't think I've ever had anything like this, but it was the sort of thing where if I don't move and I stay in one spot, I feel fine. Tired, but fine. If I move, I'm in pain. But so I basically stayed in bed for 2 days and knit. And that's very unusual for me because typically when I get sick, I have head symptoms. So like flu, sinus, fever, whatever. If I'm at all sick with my head, I can't knit, which is a bummer. But that didn't happen this time. So I got to experience the rare joy of being bedridden and could only knit and sleep. So that was not the worst way to be sick. But so I was like, okay, I still don't want to do anything that's too taxing on my brain because I am tired. What if I make a mistake? I don't want to deal with that later. So I cast this on, and it's just 6 inches of ribbing. So I basically did all of this ribbing in one day, which was crazy. I will say it was monotonous, but it was a good thing for not being able to think very well, or just, so it was kind of nice and chill. And then later I switched over to the cardigan, which was bigger needles. These are 3mm for the ribbing, and it was a different stitch pattern, so it was nice to change it up a bit. And then yesterday or the day before, I started the cables, which I just really love so much. Yeah, so I've been really happy with that. I feel so much better now. I'm fine. Nobody else has gotten sick, so that's great. But yeah, I'm enjoying this hat pattern a lot, and I'm looking forward to keep working on it. I like it so much that I'm super tempted to make myself one. I don't have a fuzzy mohair hat, so I think that might be in my future soon. Here's a picture of what the finished hat looks like. It's like big, soft, and slouchy. And a tool I'm using for the chart in this is this Coco Knits magnetic board. I think it's called like a maker's keeper or something like that, or maker's board. That's what it is. It's magnetic and it comes with a few magnets, but it also has like add-on magnets you can get, like this and a ruler kind of magnet come in a set, and I got that. And you can kind of just put your chart on there. It stands up. You can kind of just, you know, set it there and easily see what's next in your chart, move your thing up and down to kind of see what row you're on without having to like mark up your pattern paper all the time. And I've used it for multiple patterns now that have charts, and I love it. It's kind of on the pricey side. It's like about $40 for the board and $15 for the magnetic ruler things. And so I put off buying it for a long time. I was like, I've gone for years doing like paper charts with like a pen to keep mark of everything, and like covered up the charts in my own different ways before, which doesn't cost anything. And it's like, well, I've been able to go years without one. Do I really need it? I don't know. Seems nice, but is it worth it? Like, I tend to be on the more like money saving side of things, but I've been really surprised at how much I've enjoyed this. It's definitely a luxury, not a need, but it is really nice, especially if you do a lot of like lace or cable charts or things like that. Like it's a nice gift. So I have been very happy with this. I got mine at Willow Hill Yarn Company, which is another local yarn store to me. Handwork also has them. I'm not aware of other ones, but I'm sure others do. But yeah, it's been a really nice tool and I've enjoyed it. As far as life stuff going on, I leave tomorrow to go on a women's retreat with my church up in Park City. I'm really excited for that. We do this every year. It's a 3-day, 2-night kind of getaway at a nice resort. And so you get to like hang out with your friends and like do all these things. And so it's a nice way to shake things up and, I don't know, just talk to people and relax. And so I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm gonna bring my knitting. This year I have a room to myself, which on the one hand is like, oh, what about friends? But on the other hand, it's like there's a getaway, peaceful, quiet place where it's like if I just need some solitude, I can easily do that. And I've been noticing over the last several months, like solitude is really important to me. And it's often really hard to come by. And I don't know, so I'm kind of really looking forward to that part, to just mainly some quiet. I've been struggling the last several months with like overstimulus of sound, and like with 3 little kids, that's to be expected, and it's normal and it's good, and they're developing well, they're good kids, I like them, they're fun, but it's also very loud and I'm not used to that, and it's an adjustment. And so I'm trying to find ways to, I don't know, incorporate quiet into my life. And I am not at all like, and I don't at all have it figured out. I'm still looking for ways, but this weekend should be really nice for that. I'm looking forward to the peace and quiet. I'm looking forward to being with friends that I don't get to spend time with a lot. Like, these are ladies that I've known for like a decade, but I usually only talk to in like 15 to 30-minute chunks. And so you can't really get into like real conversations or tell stories or laugh or like do fun things with. And so it'll be really nice for that. And it will also be really beautiful up there. Park City's up in the mountains. There might even be some snow. All the leaves are changing. Like, this is like, according to the news this week, like this weekend is going to be like the perfect prime weekend for all the fall colors. And I'm really excited to see those. I'll probably drive around or go on a hike just to see them. The resort we're at is like right next to a nature preserve, and so it'll be really nice there. And like downtown Park City is really cute too with all their shops. So it should be a really nice weekend. I plan to bring my knitting, and we'll see how much I get done. Hopefully, like, I would not be upset if I didn't get any knitting done and it was all just like hang out fun time. But probably I'll get some done. We'll see. But I'll be sure to get some footage of all the fall colors so I can show you that too. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy knitting!